Number 1. 1972 Ford Maverick Grabber. This 1972 Ford Maverick Grabber is one of those rare finds that instantly pulls you in, not just because of the iconic Grabber name, but because it represents a very specific era of American muscle where attitude mattered just as much as horsepower. This is a genuine, original Grabber, not a tribute or clone, and it carries that raw, unapologetic personality everywhere it goes. Under the hood sits a 302 V8 that was professionally built before the current owner acquired the car, and while every internal detail may not be documented, what is known speaks loudly. The engine has roughly 500 miles on it, features a noticeably larger cam, and delivers the kind of aggressive idle that lets everyone nearby know this car means business. Fuel is handled by a Summit Racing 600 CFM carburetor, providing reliable performance with plenty of room to breathe, while long tube headers feed into a straight pipe exhaust system with true duals exiting out the sides, creating a sound that is unmistakably old school and impossible to ignore. Cooling is handled by an aluminum radiator, backed by a new battery, and power is transferred through a rebuilt C4 automatic transmission that shifts confidently and complements the engine's character perfectly. Inside, the car has been refreshed where it matters most for driving enjoyment, featuring a B&M slap shifter that adds a hands-on, performance-oriented feel, along with new black carpet, freshly reupholstered seats, and a new black headliner that gives the interior a clean, cohesive look. The only interior items still needing attention are the door panels, leaving the next owner with an easy finishing touch rather than a major project. On the exterior, the seller has personally handled the bodywork, and while it may not be concours perfect, it is very close, honest, and solid, with a kind of foundation that enthusiasts appreciate. Included with the car are 2 full gallons of Eastwood quarter-mile candy red paint, giving the next owner flexibility to complete or refine the finish to their exact taste. The Maverick sits on classic American racing wheels wrapped in radial T/as, a combination that looks right at home and reinforces its muscle-era stance. Additional details like new trunk weather stripping and included stripping for the rear window show that this car has been thoughtfully cared for rather than hastily flipped. Overall, this is a solid, well-sorted classic that runs, drives, and turns heads, offered at an approachable price, with the seller open to trading for a 70s Camaro or another classic, making it an appealing opportunity for someone simply looking for a different flavor of vintage American performance without starting from scratch. Number 2. 1987 Buick LeSabre Limited Sedan. This 1987 Buick LeSabre Limited Sedan is a true Southern survivor that tells a story of careful ownership, comfort-focused design, and the kind of build quality that made Buick a household name in the late 1980s. Finished inside and out in a rich burgundy color scheme, this 4-door sedan shows 126,950 miles and has spent its life in Georgia, benefiting from a rust-free southern climate. The seller has been transparent about their situation, explaining that recent major surgery has limited their ability to respond quickly to messages or tend to the vehicle, which is currently located at their Woodstock home while they reside on a separate property. Despite sitting, the car remains fundamentally solid and complete, needing more recommissioning than restoration. It currently does not have a battery installed, and the gasoline in the tank is a couple of years old and simply needs to be pumped out. Importantly, there are no signs of rust in the tank and no known fuel system damage. The car does need a fresh set of tires, as age has taken its toll, though it does come with 5 full-size wheels along with a mini spare. This LeSabre is being sold with all original documentation from when it was purchased new, a rare and valuable detail for collectors and enthusiasts alike. It has had only 2 elderly owners, further reinforcing the likelihood that it was driven gently and maintained with care rather than abused. The seller states they have over $8,600 invested in the car and believes the primary mechanical issue is transmission-related, most likely a failed torque converter rather than a catastrophic transmission failure. To help the next owner, they are even willing to recommend trusted repair shops, including JR Automotive in Austell, Georgia, as well as another shop in Marietta where they have personal connections. This is not a rusted-out project or a mystery car. It is a complete, documented, rust-free Southern Buick that simply needs the right person to bring it back to daily driver or cruiser status. The price is set firmly at $1,650 cash, with no negotiations or exceptions, making this an honest, straightforward deal for someone who understands the value of a solid foundation and is willing to put in a bit of effort to get a comfortable, classic American sedan back on the road where it belongs. Number 3. 1984 Chevrolet Monte Carlo. This 1984 Chevrolet Monte Carlo is an all-original example that presents a unique opportunity for someone who appreciates classic GMG body styling and is willing to address a few mechanical issues to bring it back to life. Finished in gray with an automatic transmission, This car is being offered at a firm price of $1,900, with no trades considered and no negotiations entertained. The seller is very clear about expectations and is looking for a serious buyer who understands exactly what they are getting. While the mileage is listed at 12,345 miles, it should be treated with caution as typical for vehicles of this age, but what is certain is that the car retains its original engine and transmission, which is becoming increasingly rare for Monte Carlos from this era. The car will shift into drive, but for reasons not yet fully diagnosed, it will not move forward, indicating a mechanical issue that will require attention before it can be driven normally. In addition, there was previously a hole in the rear panel, a flaw the seller is open to discussing further with interested buyers and can provide additional information and videos upon request. This vehicle needs to be sold as soon as possible, and the urgency is reflected in the straightforward, no-frills listing. It is not being marketed as a perfect car or a turnkey driver, but rather as an honest project or restoration candidate with strong originality at its core. For someone who knows these cars, understands GM drivetrains, or is looking for a classic Monte Carlo to restore or modify, this listing represents a chance to acquire a solid foundation at a price that leaves room in the budget for repairs. The seller's firm stance underscores that this is a serious sale aimed at buyers who know what they want and are ready to move quickly. Number 4. 1964 Plymouth Belvedere. This 1964 Plymouth Belvedere is a classic piece of American automotive history, offered in running and driving condition and priced at $4,000, making it an accessible entry point into early 1960s Mopar ownership. Located in Fountain, Florida, this Belvedere shows 65,000 miles and features an automatic transmission, making it easy to enjoy for cruising, shows, or weekend drives. Finished in a blue exterior paired with a green interior, it embodies the bold color combinations and unmistakable styling that defined Plymouth's mid-century lineup. According to the seller, the car runs and drives great, which is often the most important and expensive hurdle to clear with a vehicle of this age. Rather than being a non-running project or a disassembled restoration, this Belvedere offers the immediate satisfaction of a classic that can be driven and enjoyed while improvements are made over time. Cars from this era are increasingly hard to find in honest, usable condition, and the Belvedere's reputation for simplicity and durability only adds to its appeal. Whether someone is looking for a vintage cruiser, a foundation for a mild restoration, or simply a piece of Mopar history to preserve, this car presents a compelling option that balances character, usability, and value without overpromising or unnecessary hype. Number 5. 1978 Ford Thunderbird. This 1978 Ford Thunderbird is a beautifully preserved example of late 1970s American personal luxury, offering comfort, style, and presence in a way modern cars simply cannot replicate. Finished in a tasteful tan exterior with a warm brown interior, this Thunderbird shows just 64,000 miles and has been kept in a garage for most of its life, a fact that is evident in its clean condition both inside and out. The seller describes it as super clean, and emphasizes that while it is an older car, it remains a joy to drive, delivering a smooth, relaxed experience that suits leisurely cruising perfectly. This is not a neglected project or a tired survivor, it is a well-loved vehicle that has clearly been cared for and appreciated. Unfortunately, the seller is unable to keep it in the family and is now looking for a good home where it will continue to be enjoyed rather than forgotten. The car runs on gasoline, features an automatic transmission, and reflects the era when the Thunderbird leaned heavily into luxury, long lines, and road presence rather than raw performance. The seller notes that if the ad is still up, the car is still available, and while they would consider trades, cash is preferred. This Thunderbird represents an opportunity to own a comfortable, eye-catching classic that stands apart from a usual muscle car crowd, appealing to someone who values elegance, originality, and the unmistakable charm of a bygone automotive era. Number 6. 1986 Pontiac Parisienne Brougham. This 1986 Pontiac Parisienne Brougham represents the final chapter of full-size traditional American luxury sedans, built at a time when comfort, presence, and smooth road manners were the priority above all else. Located in Milton, Florida and priced at $5,000, this car is being offered in strictly as-is condition, with the seller being upfront and realistic about its current state. The vehicle was running before it was parked, but it has now been sitting for approximately 3.5 years, and because of that downtime, the seller makes it clear that they cannot diagnose or speculate on its current mechanical needs. Rather than guessing or overselling, they are leaving that assessment entirely to the buyer, which is often appreciated by experienced enthusiasts who prefer honesty over assumptions. The Parisienne Brougham itself is known for its spacious interior, smooth ride quality, and classic boxy styling that defines mid-1980s GM full-size sedans. These cars were designed to soak up miles effortlessly, offering a relaxed driving experience that feels increasingly rare today. This example is available to be viewed in person at 112 Butler Circle in Crestview, giving serious buyers the chance to inspect it firsthand and decide for themselves whether it fits their plans, whether that be a recommissioned cruiser, a preservation project, or a comfortable classic daily driver. With the seller open to offers and clearly stating expectations up front, this listing is best suited for someone who understands older vehicles, is comfortable dealing with a car that has been sitting, and appreciates the understated charm and road presence that a Parisienne brougham still delivers decades later. Number 7. 1977 Chrysler Newport. This 1977 Chrysler Newport is a remarkably original one-family-owned example of a true full-size American sedan from the late 1970s, offered at $5,500 and located in Savannah, Georgia. Showing just under 90,000 miles, this Newport remains largely untouched, retaining its original paint and factory configuration, which is becoming increasingly rare for cars of this size and era. Under the hood sits a 400 cubic inch 4-barrel V8, delivering the kind of smooth, effortless power that made these cars ideal for long highway drives and comfortable cruising. The car runs and drives, making it a strong candidate for restoration rather than a non-running project, and its originality gives it a level of authenticity that collectors and enthusiasts value highly. The exterior is finished in yellow, a color that perfectly captures the bold personality of late 1970s American design, while the primary cosmetic need noted is the replacement of the vinyl top, a common and expected issue for vehicles of this age. Because this car has remained in the same family since new, it carries a sense of history and continuity that cannot be replicated, and it suggests a level of care and familiarity that often translates into better long-term preservation. This Newport is being described as ready to restore, meaning it offers the next owner the opportunity to bring it back to its former glory without undoing years of modifications or neglect. For someone seeking a classic Chrysler with real presence, factory originality, and a solid mechanical foundation, this Newport stands out as a genuine and increasingly hard-to-find survivor. Number 8. 1980 Plymouth Volare. This 1980 Plymouth Volare is a true survivor that quietly defies expectations, making it far more interesting than the typical project car listing. Located in Hortense, Georgia and priced at $5,500, this Volare shows approximately 100,000 miles and remains impressively well preserved for its age. Finished in an off-white exterior with a matching off-white interior, the car presents a clean, cohesive appearance that reflects years of careful ownership rather than neglect. Power comes from a 318 V8 paired with an automatic transmission, and the car is equipped with air conditioning, adding to its comfort and usability. The seller originally purchased the vehicle with plans to turn it into a stock eliminator drag car, but after spending time behind the wheel, they realized it was simply too nice and too original to cut up or heavily modify. That realization alone says a lot about the condition and character of this Volare. Rather than being a worn-out platform, it stands as a genuine survivor that still delivers the kind of smooth, composed driving experience these cars were designed for. For someone who appreciates understated classics, late 1970s and early 1980s Mopar design, or simply wants a comfortable vintage car that hasn't been over-restored or abused, this Volare offers a rare balance of originality, drivability, and honest preservation. Number 9. 1967 Buick Skylark Special. This 1967 Buick Skylark Special is a clean, straightforward classic muscle-era Buick that offers strong V8 performance without unnecessary drama or exaggeration. Located in Colbert, Georgia and priced at $6,000, this Skylark is powered by a 300 cubic inch, 4.9-liter V8, producing between 220 and 250 horsepower, depending on factory configuration. The engine runs well, giving the car the kind of smooth yet confident performance Buick was known for during the height of the muscle car era. This is not a heavily modified or overhyped listing. The seller makes it clear they are looking for serious buyers only and are not interested in tire kickers or time wasters. The presence of a title further reinforces that this is a legitimate, straightforward sale rather than a complicated paperwork situation. The Skylark Special sits in a sweet spot between pure muscle car aggression and refined cruising, offering classic 1960s styling, a strong V8 soundtrack, and everyday usability. For someone looking to get into a true 1960s American V8 car without stepping into the inflated prices of more famous nameplates, the Skylark represents an honest opportunity to own, drive, and enjoy a genuine piece of Buick history. Number 10. 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle 300 Series. This 1966 Chevrolet Chevelle 300 Series four-door sedan is a refreshingly honest and well-sorted classic that proves not every desirable vintage car needs to be a high-dollar SS model. Located in LaGrange, Georgia and listed at $6,800 or best offer, this Chevelle is powered by a 235 inline-six paired with a 3-speed manual transmission on the column, delivering a driving experience that is both engaging and true to the era. The seller has invested significant time and effort into mechanical and cosmetic improvements, making this a car that runs and drives great rather than a stalled project. Recent upgrades include a new carburetor, fuel pump, electronic ignition, alternator, starter, gas tank and sending unit, as well as a rebuilt rear end, new wheel bearings, brakes, door panels, air shocks, and BFG tires mounted on rally wheels. Additional touches like a cowl hood, aluminum radiator, sun tachometer, and triple gauges give the car a subtle performance-inspired look while still respecting its original character. The exterior is finished in gray with a blue interior, and while the mileage is listed as 1,966 miles, it should be viewed as unknown due to the car's age. This Chevelle is being sold with a Georgia bill of sale and tag receipt only, and the listing is posted on behalf of a friend, with contact information available to serious buyers. For someone seeking a classic Chevelle that stands out from the crowd, offers real drivability, and reflects thoughtful maintenance rather than empty hype, this four-door 300 Series delivers character, charm, and value in equal measure. Number 11. 1971 Dodge Coronet. This 1971 Dodge Coronet four-door sedan represents a kind of classic car ownership that has become increasingly rare in a world obsessed with perfection, restorations, and unrealistic expectations. Finished in gold and located in Griffin, Georgia, this Coronet is powered by a 318 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission, a drivetrain combination that Chrysler built its reputation on for decades because of its durability, smooth operation, and forgiving nature. According to the seller, the car runs and drives great, and that statement carries weight because nothing about this listing relies on exaggeration or empty promises. This is not being sold as a future project or a needs-everything car. It is presented honestly as a vehicle that starts, moves, and can be driven whenever the owner chooses. One of the most valuable aspects of this Coronet is that it retains working cold air conditioning and hot heat, which transforms it from a weekend novelty into a genuinely usable classic that can be enjoyed in real-world conditions. Sitting on old-style black steel wheels with good tires, the car has a subtle, almost understated presence that feels authentic rather than flashy, and on the road it reportedly handles well and feels stable, reinforcing its suitability as a driver rather than a fragile showpiece. Inside, the seats show wear and tearing from years of use, but this is clearly framed as a cosmetic issue rather than a functional flaw, something that can be easily addressed with seat covers or simply accepted as part of the car's honest character. What makes this Coronet especially appealing is its lack of drama. There are no hidden mechanical mysteries, no long lists of deferred maintenance, and no vague excuses. It is described as a fair-priced old-school car that cranks and goes when you're ready, and that straightforward nature is exactly what many enthusiasts are searching for today. While the seller may consider trades involving a nice drone and cash or possibly a modern vehicle or truck, cash is preferred, keeping the transaction simple and direct. In the end, this Coronet isn't about hype or trends. It's about owning a classic Mopar that delivers exactly what it promises, every time you turn the key. Number 12. 1961 Buick Skylark with original 215 aluminum V8. This 1961 Buick Skylark stands as a quiet but deeply significant piece of American automotive history, offering a blend of innovation, originality, and honest condition that makes it increasingly hard to overlook. Located in Navarre, Florida and priced at $7,500, this Skylark retains its original 215 cubic inch aluminum V8 paired with an automatic transmission, an engine that was revolutionary at the time and later influenced designs far beyond Buick itself. The car does run and drive, and rather than being allowed to deteriorate, it has received meaningful mechanical attention focused on safety and reliability. The seller has replaced all brake lines, rebuilt the brake master cylinder, cleaned and sealed the gas tank, installed new fuel lines, rebuilt the carburetor, and replaced spark plugs and wires, ensuring the car operates as intended rather than simply existing as a parked artifact. An aftermarket exhaust adds a richer, more confident sound that complements the engine's character without overwhelming its original personality. While the car will need better tires and suspension bushings before it can be considered fully roadworthy for regular driving, these needs are clearly stated and typical for a vehicle of this age, not unknown problems waiting to surprise the next owner. Structurally, the Skylark is described as extremely solid, still wearing its original floors and trunk, with only surface rust present due to wet carpets in the past and no evidence of rot-through. There are a few small rust spots along the top of the windshield, but overall the integrity of the body is impressive for a car that has been on the road for more than 60 years. This Skylark offers flexibility that many classics no longer do. It can be restored back to factory condition, thoughtfully modernized into a restomod, or simply preserved and enjoyed as a piece of rolling history. With a clean title in hand and additional photos and videos available to serious buyers, this listing represents an opportunity to own a rare and meaningful Buick that still has a strong foundation and a clear future ahead of it. Number 13. 1989 Cadillac Brougham Sedan. This 1989 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham is a powerful reminder of a time when American luxury meant size, presence, comfort, and effortless cruising, all wrapped in a design that made no attempt to blend in. Located in Cordova, Tennessee and offered at $7,500, this Brougham shows just over 31,000 original miles and is being sold by only its second owner, a detail that adds significant credibility and collector appeal. Finished in black with a brown interior, the car presents the formal, dignified appearance Cadillac was famous for, immediately commanding attention without needing bright colors or aggressive styling. Under the hood sits a 5.0-liter V8 that delivers smooth, predictable power, perfectly matched to the car's relaxed driving nature. The seller has invested heavily in preventative maintenance, replacing major components such as the gas tank, fuel lines, alternator, battery, carburetor, distributor, hoses, belts, and more, ensuring the car remains reliable and ready to be enjoyed rather than simply admired. New tires further support its road readiness. While there are a few minor paint blemishes consistent with age, they do little to detract from the overall impression and serve as reminders that this is an original car, not one that has been artificially perfected. The seller makes it clear this is not a forced sale and that they will not entertain lowball offers or time-wasting inquiries, positioning this Brougham as a serious collector-grade vehicle rather than a bargain lot cruiser. As one of the last truly traditional Cadillacs, this car represents the end of an era, making it especially appealing to those who value authenticity, low mileage, and the unmistakable presence of classic American luxury. Number 14. 1970 Buick Riviera. This 1970 Buick Riviera is a bold expression of American confidence at a time when luxury cars were allowed to be powerful, dramatic, and unapologetically distinctive. Located in Boonville, Mississippi and priced at $7,500, this Riviera is equipped with a legendary 455 cubic inch big block V8, producing a factory-rated 370 horsepower and an immense 510 lb-ft of torque, figures that translate into effortless acceleration and commanding highway performance. Finished in white with a brown interior, the Riviera's sweeping lines, long hood, and wide stance give it a presence that few vehicles can match, even decades later. According to the seller, the car cranks and runs, an essential foundation that allows the next owner to build enjoyment rather than start from frustration. The Riviera has long been appreciated for blending muscle car power with luxury car refinement, appealing to enthusiasts who want something different from the more common performance icons of the era. This example offers exactly that balance, providing big block performance wrapped in a body designed to turn heads without shouting. Whether the next owner chooses to preserve it as a cruiser, restore it to its original glory, or refine it further over time, this Riviera offers a solid starting point with unmistakable character. As these cars continue to disappear from the roads, examples like this stand as reminders of an era when design and engineering were driven by ambition rather than compromise. Number 15. 1978 Chevrolet Monza. This 1978 Chevrolet Monza is a rare survivor from a transitional period in American automotive history, made even more desirable by its factory-installed V8 and remarkable originality. Located in Gadsden, Alabama and priced at $8,000, this Monza is powered by a factory 305 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission, offering a unique blend of compact proportions and genuine V8 performance. What truly sets this car apart is the fact that the engine bay remains completely untouched, retaining all original components, including the factory air conditioning system, something rarely seen today in Monzas that were often modified or stripped over the years. Finished in black on black, the car carries a sleek, purposeful look that suits its sporty design perfectly. With just over 33,000 miles showing, this Monza appears to have lived a relatively gentle life, avoiding the abuse and experimentation that claimed so many of its peers. The seller notes that it runs good, reinforcing the idea that this is not a dormant project but a functioning, drivable classic. The openness to trade offers suggests flexibility, while still recognizing the car's rarity and originality. For enthusiasts who value factory correctness, low-mileage survivors, and the subtle charm of late 1970s GM performance cars, this Monza represents an increasingly uncommon opportunity to own something authentic, preserved, and quietly special.